Let's shall we begin. Hello, to you brothers and sisters. These are my Ninja Turtle brothers. I am the oldest. I am Leonardo. And next to me on the right hand side is PTYMNATION. He's Raphael. You don't want to fuck with him, okay? And Knickerbockers. He likes Knickerbockers, as you can see. The Knicks. I don't know what they're going through right now, but I don't watch basketball no more. But that's Frankie, Michelangelo, the one with the nunchucks. And then it's Donatello. He's a micromanagement at the manager. He's a manager and changed one life. And of course, only Thomas has a Cash App, which of course I posted in the description box. And of course, if you want me to show your Cash App now, I can show it anytime you want, Thomas. Okay. And so we got many topics to talk about. And I'm assuming that this conversation will last for less than an hour because you know how StreamYard is. They only give you 20 hours a month, okay, for free. Okay, so it's a professional. So far, it's the best for me. There's other ones, but this right now is the best. So our topics today will be, hold on, let me just type this in here. Okay, we go here and boom, okay. Okay, we got topics today. Tyson wants to talk about balanced family and business and meaning of financial freedom. What does it mean? And how does it truly love your topics, self-topics? Frankie want to talk about the simple information, the wise, fathers, how much impact do males play in molding a woman's life? Thomas want to talk about how to find oneself, a book called Four Agreements, being in agreement with yourself, and myself, trusting auto mechanics with your cars, butterfly stalkers, and ladybugs, and how to travel to foreign lands. Of course, I'm very fluent when I read, okay? But of course, I hope you can pay attention. So who want to go first? Thomas, Frankie, or Maurice? Which one?
It don't matter.
Okay, so let's start with you, Thomas. Okay, Thomas, you're the youngest. Thomas is the youngest of our brothers, okay? Of course, as like Raphael, he is the youngest, correct? I think, who's the youngest in the Ninja Turtles?
I don't know who the youngest. They're all the same age.
I don't think so. I think Raphael or Michelangelo is the youngest. But anyway, it's okay. So, Thomas, you said how to find oneself, a book called Four Agreements, being in agreement with yourself. What topic you want to talk about out of those three?
Well, first of all, I'd like to talk about the book, The Four Agreements. I think it's a real good book that everyone should get their hands on. And the base of the book is really being impeccable with your word, not taking things personal, never assuming, and make sure, forgive me, I forgot the last one. Oh, God.
Just one thing at a time, Thomas. Just take your time. We got forever.
Well, we can actually just talk about the first three, actually. It's actually, I said it's 4 agreements. And the first 3 will give you more than enough to even, like, just to get started on the book. And most, like I said, a lot of people should take their time to read it because it helps find themselves and what they really want out of life.
Okay. Did you read the book, Maurice? Frankie?
No, I didn't read the book. Yeah, so I owe you a book that on YouTube. It's a good book.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of 48 Laws of Power, which I disagree with half the book. Okay, but it's all about control and manipulation using dark psychology.
I don't think it's really about that.
It's not. What is it about?
I don't think that book really states nothing about dark psychology. Because first it teaches you how to find your own self. And how we sit there and look at other people to look into other people instead of looking at ourselves as one first. And then being capable of other people. It makes you be true to yourself first. So you're actually saying, I'm going to be honest with myself to take care of myself first before I even say I'm going to take care of anything else.
Okay, yeah, but that's what the 48 laws. I think the 48 Laws of Power is far more popular. It talks about that too. The 48 Laws of Power.
So what was the topic?
You should read it. Very popular.
So what was the topic in the book that was very interesting?
Well, all of them are very interesting because, like I said, it shows you how you should look at yourself first. Yeah, and so how you should look at the world instead of looking at it as the way that we've basically been, I don't want to get too deep into it, domesticated to look at the world.
It
shows us how you've been domesticated from your parents It shows you how you've been domesticated from being outside in the world, and it shows you how you've been domesticated by so many things. It actually programmed you to think the way that you're thinking because we actually been programmed and domesticated this way instead of thinking for yourself and what's inside your heart.
So what's one of the agreements?
Huh?
So what is one of the agreements?
Well, like I said, the first agreement is Jesus. I just said it.
Maurice? I can't remember it. It's I can't remember it.
Be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word.
Oh, be impeccable with your word. So what did the chapter go into about being impeccable with his word?
Basically, it's exactly what it states. Just being impeccable with your word. If you say something to do it, if you got to stand by what you're saying, and that's like one of the first basic agreements. The second one again goes into being don't take anything personal. A lot of things in this world that we take personal, now we hold a grudge against people. We hold. So you're basically your own world, and I'm basically my own world. We all have the power to dictate what we want in our world.
When did this book come out? When did this book come out?
It's already out.
I said, when did it come out? When?
Oh, I'm not sure. I just started. It was a pickup that I got from my wife, and when I started reading it, it's like a great book.
Okay.
And I just started following Don Miguel just ever since that first book, since the 4 Agreements. He has a lot more books out.
Okay, yeah, but if you trust me on this, if you found out about the 48 Laws of Power, there's an animation that goes along because it's very popular. I think it's more popular than the book you're talking about. It's older, and I read this book, and it talks about how to manipulate manipulators and to put yourself first, and also to have standards with what your desires are, putting yourself above everyone else. You put yourself above everyone else. And so
this one don't manipulate people. It makes you see
there's two forms of manipulation. There's 2 forms of manipulation. Okay. There's the one you do it selfishly. Okay. And then there's the one that you do it through a leadership. Okay. And the book talks about both of those things.
I think you put the word manipulation in a broad band. The book is basically about how to basically improve yourself. Basically, and it's all about how basically everything that the world tell you is almost like lies. The world been telling you that, let's say if for example, the world's telling you that you're ugly. Beauty isn't about eye of the beholder. So beauty is different to everyone, right? Smart, being intelligent is different from everyone. So it's telling you that don't believe basically everything that you see and everything that you hear that goes into you. Believe yourself. It's all about yourself. It's about self-reflecting. And yes, the 48 Powers is a very powerful book, and it is a lot older than that book. But based off his experience, this is the book that he basically wanted to speak about because it attached to him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I read the 48 Laws of Power also, and I audiobooked the 4 Agreement. And I agree. It is a very good book for people to start learning and building their self up to basically be honest with themselves, thinking they could do more in life and they reach more than what they're capable of doing, because a lot of people have put them down, say, you're in this box and that's all you can do. It's us up and out that box.
Exactly.
What about you, Frankie? What do you think?
What I haven't read the book, but from what they're saying, it's just basic principles when it comes to basically manhood. Basically, being true to your word is one thing that you should always be, but you should always be looking for improvement. But I guess it's just building those blocks basically mentally, that you have the power to control your atmosphere basically. But the first atmosphere you got to control is your own. Once you control your own atmosphere, you can help someone else. It's like you saying, I want to feed people, but you don't have any food. But if you learn how to fish and you get a boat, you could gather more fish. But you got to get a boat first. You got to get a boat. You got to learn how to fish first. So, but I understand. I understand what he's saying. It's just building yourself up, because you can't produce anything with nothing. You got to have something to produce something, basically.
Uh-huh.
To me, it's just a great starting point, because like it says, we've been domesticated by so many things in this world. We really don't even speak with our own free mind. Everything that most of you said from people is based on what you've been trained up from day one. It's like we've been trained from day one, almost like just like we train a dog. It's basically the same thing. We've been domesticated to be what we are, to think the way that we think from little. It says in the book, we think from a kid, if you were to think about it, as a kid, when your parents chastise you, you know that this is being bad. And then when they reward you with love, you know this is being good.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been domesticated from day one, not even thinking freely on your own.
But with that, I think it's a good and bad with it, because you could think
always good and bad with it.
Right.
It's always a good and bad part.
Because you could think freely, and you could just be going down the wrong. You could be going in the wrong direction. It's always good to get
but
wise.
You know, but being raised, you know right from wrong. What it's saying is having you think for yourself.
Right. Use your own judgment. Okay, I understand.
Yes.
Use your own experience, and use your own judgment, and based on the knowledge that you have, weigh it out yourself and choose the direction you want to go. And
choose what you want out of life.
Right. I understand.
Because you're taught something doesn't mean it's always right.
I definitely think as males, that's really the direction that males should be in anyway, because I think that's when a lot of males, they die basically when we're domesticated and we're not choosing our own path. You see males go into a shell, or they feel as if they're not alive. Going into, like, if you speak to people who only own business, even though it's hard, right? They feel alive because they making choices as a man. They making choices. They in a leadership position. Where you find people who work under someone who, I don't care what it is, they feel as if they're more of on a submissive side of things, like they are subject to commands of someone else. What they feel, they don't feel alive. You understand what I'm saying? They don't feel alive. And if you speak to people who's entrepreneurs, they always feel they always feel alive. They feel awake because every day they got to make a choice. They got to make their own choices, regardless good or bad. They still got to make their own choices.
Okay. Anything you have to say, Maurice, about that?
No, I think we should go to the next topic because that time.
So who's next? Who's next? I just want to make sure that if anybody's watching, I'll mention it, and everybody who's inside of this stream, they will be able to see our comments, and also they'll be able to see the links and everything to your PTYMNATION. Okay, so I just want you to know that. So I'm gonna repeat back what you just said, Thomas. Okay, How to Find Oneself, a book called The 44 Agreements, being in agreement with yourself. So everything is cool. We talked about it. We understood. Okay. So let's go into who's next. Who's that? Frankie or Maurice?
Maurice. We're going Frankie, youngest to oldest.
He said from youngest to oldest, so Frankie's next.
Number 2. Let's go, Knicks.
Okay. So Frankie's topic will be about the simple, the foolish, and the wise. And then he said fathers. And then he said, how much impact do males play in molding a woman's life? So it could be one thing at a time or one step at a time. Go ahead.
Well, something I've been definitely meditating on is the simple, the foolish, and the wise. Is because I do read the scriptures, I do read Proverbs. And what I've been analyzing is that the steps, like what steps does it take to get to that point of being simple. Simple is not applying yourself to anything or trying to get understanding to it, right? The simple is always devoured by someone, can be devoured by someone who's foolish and someone who's perverse. And then you have the wise, the people who choose to study, but doesn't mean that person, they could be wise, but they also can be perverse at the same time. Like you see people who's wise in certain things, they manipulate situations, right? And then someone who's simple, who don't have understanding, could always be used by the person who's wise and perverse for their own benefit.
Okay. But I always say that there's always two forms of manipulation, and even though there's fools out there with pure hearts, they have good intentions. And so you got to be careful how you twist and mingle the words when it comes to manipulation. There are a lot of fools out there who are pretty much ignorant. but their innocence leads forward than everything else. Their innocence. They don't know what they're doing. Okay, so let's say you got a wise person, right? He talks foolish. Okay, but the thing is that he's speaking the truth, so you can't touch him. It's like a double-edged sword. Okay, it's a double-edged sword. Okay.
But a fool is someone who knows better, who chooses not to do better. Now, the innocent is different. An innocent is a person like a child. A child is innocent. They don't know no better.
Well, let me say one thing about a fool. To me, a fool is through ignorance, or is it someone that you're talking about, like someone who knows they're doing something wrong? Are you talking about that type of fool?
Right. Someone who knows better, who decides not to do better. Okay. That's the fool. That's the foolish. Okay. But then you have the simple. Then you have the simple. The simple is the person who choose not to apply themselves. Somebody who choose not to apply themselves to what they want to build on, and they just want to go with the simplest form. Something simple is like this. What we see in people who has lack of education. Males, they use a physical strength, or they use aggression, right, to get ahead. That's very simple. Women who's simple, they usually use their sexuality to get ahead, because that's all they had. That's a simple form of getting ahead of life. But someone who's educated and someone who chooses to seek out knowledge, right? What do? They go and they got to search for it, right? And they choose not to be simple. They choose to get knowledge and understanding. So what do? They go get wise counsel. They look at the internet. They read books, so they get understanding. So they choose not to be simple. But people who are simple choose not to do anything and just go with the most basic thing to get ahead or get an advantage, which could lead to perversity also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is that? What is that saying that people say? One who does not risk don't really know the. What's that saying that people say? One who do not take risk will never know the boundaries of their limitations. What's that saying? I forgot what it was.
I don't recall it.
You have to take risk in order to proceed to transform. Okay. And a fool is someone who basically does something over and over again without results. What do you think about this?
A fool is someone who do something over and over and expecting different results.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think about this, Thomas?
Well, basically just simple definition of the simple is, fool is, and the perverse. So I really ain't too much to touch on that.
But I would like to ask, how do you see this in society playing out? How does it play out in the society we live in? Society right now.
I think that personally is on how each person look at another individual. If you tell me the truth, they'll tell you the truth. Because if I look at you and my personal opinion about you is one of those three, but what you think is actually the right thing. So that's wrong for me to call you either one of those things when I'm not living in your shoes. I don't see your world. So it's wrong for me to give any point of view like that on you.
But won't your life speak for itself? Your life will speak for you.
Yes, but but when somebody's living out their life, you gotta understand it's their life. In their mind, in their heart, in their soul, they probably think they're doing the wrong thing. And the reason why I use the word probably is because the way I'm looking at it from the outside looking in, to me it ain't right. What I think is right is not right.
No, but
to them, they capable of choosing their own world. They're okay. I'm okay with somebody saying, I won't put judgment on somebody to say they're either being simple, foolish, or perverse.
But
I've never been in their shoes. I never know what caused them to choose the path that they went down.
But the choices that you make will apply to you. I'm sure in some way I made some simple choices in my life. Some places I made some foolish choices. Some places I made some wise choices in my life.
I don't believe. But the reason you got to understand where I'm coming from. The reason why I don't believe in stuff like that, look, really, because I believe that we basically all are perfect in our own world. We are all perfect.
We're all unique. We're all unique in our own fashion.
We are all perfect. We are all perfect in our own world. Period. Then because you choose what I'm doing is wrong, or you think that that's foolish, or you think that's perverse, or you think that's a simp, that doesn't mean that you're right, and it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. Because
what do you think about this, Maurice? Maurice, what do you think about this?
Okay.
I think Frankie's trying to say it in like a broader sense. So what Frankie's trying to say is basically how we look at the world, how things are applying basically to the world. Right now, and Thomas and Frankie, you're both right. But how we look in our eyes, a lot of people are taking a simple approach in life, meaning they're not applying themselves to be better in life. So almost just like the book that we were just speaking about before, is that they don't follow those steps, those arrangement steps, those true talks to themselves that, hey, their life can be better if they apply themselves instead of taking the simple way out or the foolish way out. Also, I do agree that there's no such thing. There's another little side topic. It's like there's no such thing as unintelligent and intelligent, because everyone's intelligent in their own way, meaning that their own factor. I could be smart at fixing cars. You could be smart at building houses. Everyone's smart and intelligent in their own way. But when you look in a broader sense, the way the world is creating itself now, women lose their bodies, men use their bodies. It's simple, but they have the intelligence to do more than that, and they don't apply themselves to do more than that, to live a better life and a more free life, a less, unfortunately, a less judgmental life. Yes, we have no right to judge, but that's, I think, where Frankie's approach is going. And there's people out there also, like he says, the foolish, that has the sense to do these things, but choose not to do these things. They have the sense, they know what to do, they know the steps to take, but they choose not to do these things. They choose to work. Like if you was an entrepreneur, you could be an entrepreneur, but you choose to work a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the wise. I look at the wise like the people that run businesses. You're working for someone else's dream. So the wise manipulate you to work for their dreams and their approach that's in life. So I think he's trying to look at it as a broader band that we have to look at. And he definitely 100% right, because it is a broad, especially this time and age with the coronavirus and everything's going on. A lot of people did choose a simple way. A lot of people did choose a foolish way, but also this is the most millionaires in making of all times. So a lot of people did change their ways because of this. That's what I feel.
I feel that there's, for every action there is a reaction, and there's also a consequence. Okay, so if you are either paranoid or not, there is a consequence for every action. Okay, so, and when people become hypocrites, I got a problem with that. You know, if someone says that you're a Christian, you better follow that Bible, man, because I don't like people like that when they say, I'm following the code. Don't be like that. That's a different person in the world. That's a foolish person.
That's a different subject. That's a deeper subject, and we don't have enough time to discuss that.
Okay, so let's continue on with Frankie, what he said. Frankie said, fathers, how much impact do males play in molding a woman's life? Frankie, go ahead.
The question speaks for itself.
Okay, what about fathers?
What do you mean by molding a woman?
That's what he wrote. He wrote down, Frankie.
But that's what I answered him.
How much?
What do you mean by molding?
Males play in molding a woman's life?
I want to know what he means by molding a woman.
I don't. We go to the next subject.
Don't get in trouble, Frankie. Watch it.
It's gonna.
Wait. Hold on. Let's say Frankie. Technically, it's my turn. It's not my turn anyway. So
yes,
it's my turn anyway.
No. I'm still on Frankie's question. Okay.
No,
you know, he has 3 questions. We're on Frankie.
Wait, no.
You're gonna take too much energy from me.
So, go ahead.
Thomas, wait. We're doing one subject at a time. Thomas did one subject. Frankie already did his one subject. Now it's my turn to do my subject. All right. Okay. Then it's your turn to do your subject. All right.
Yeah, but what I was doing is talking about all of the topics for each person. Okay.
We did one topic with Thomas.
We did one subject with Thomas.
Okay, go ahead. Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we did one subject with Thomas. We did one subject with Frankie.
Okay, so what you mentioned is Thomas, the first thing, because if you're going like that, balance family and work business. Okay, you have meaning of financial freedom, and what does it mean? How does it truly love yourself topics? Okay, so those are 3 things you mentioned there, and you also wrote down one other thing: work hard. Okay, but other than that,
no, that's not. That's for Thomas.
What do y'all want me to talk about? That was the fourth agreement.
What subject y'all want me to talk about?
What subject you have?
Yo,
What
his
subject
segment
I
was
have?
balance, family, and work business. That's the first one. The second one is meaning of financial freedom. And the third one was what does it mean? How to truly love yourself? Topics. Okay. Which one, Tom? Frankie? I mean Maurice.
I'm letting you vote.
No, we don't want to vote. Just choose one.
Just choose one,
All right.
goddammit.
All right. Since we're talking about, we're going to talk about
Choose
financial
how
freedom.
you- All right, go ahead.
What'd you say?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right. Let's talk about financial freedom. I'm going to be very broad and very short because financial freedom is a long, very long topic. But I'm going to give you a short version of it. And definitely give me some feedback. If I'm wrong, am I right? It is. So basically, the thing with financial freedom is basically how do you think of basically what financial freedom is? So everyone looking at it differently. So everyone has a point of financial freedom. Some people say, oh, I need millions of dollars. Some people said, I need this type of lifestyle to be financially free. The problem with people the problem that I see a lot in the constant basis is that we all we all try to take too large of a step. Not saying we can't have that larger step in the future, meaning down the road, down the line, down the path. The problem is we try to jump to it right off the jump. Hey, I want to be financially free. I want to make $1 million in the next 6 months. I think what we do is take smaller steps to reach the bigger steps of making those millions of dollars or gaining those millions of dollars or being financial free. There are certain things that go into this. One is that we can't live by a check. So living by a check is not necessarily wrong. It's great. We all do it. We all work a 9 to 5. But the problem is when a check has you, it has you bond. It has you tied to that check. It has you that you got to do things that you don't want to do. Sometimes we got to go to work when we don't want to go to work and we want to spend time with our family. Sometimes we have great business ideas that we can't pursue because we're working 40, 50 hours a week at our job. Right? 2, instead of jumping that long step, we got to start building small. So what we shall do, and which is basically I'm in practice now, is to basically get all your finances, see how much it takes for you to live. So your monthly bills, get all your monthly bills together, see how much that is. Then obviously you times it by 12 for a year. Then what you want to do is build 6 months of spending. Meaning you want 6 months. If you lost your job today, you should have the financial power to live freely for 6 months without worrying about money, right? Then you build it to a year. So once you build it to a year, you're going to start looking at that 9 to 5 a little bit differently, because now you can go a whole year without being in bond with that check. You're basically that check basically has power over you, and let's say, for lack of better terminology. So you're going to start looking at things a little bit differently. You're going to start looking at the business that you want to start a little bit differently because you will be able to obtain that financial freedom. But I think what people do, again, is that we try to jump too far to say, hey, we're going to hit these millions, but we need to start, hey, let me get 6 months of my life freedom. That if I lose my job today, I have 6 months of freedom. Then start with the year. Then after that year, then we go forward with that financial freedom.
Okay.
Good thought.
Thomas, right?
Well, I think when you talk about financial freedom, again, it's like you said, we all have our own opinion of what financial freedom is. And sometimes I think that we look at financial freedom and we do chase the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes what people call financial freedom is really not financial freedom. I really just think it's a way of being bound and being in bondage. And we don't see it until we actually get there. So when it comes down to financial freedom, I would think you can actually start financial freedom at any point in your life. And true financial freedom is like when you say, for instance, you said you don't like living check from check. So that means the check that you actually do bring in, you need to manage that check. You need to make sure you have control of that month to equal up to financial freedom. Because a lot of us get in trouble because we got a check that's coming in, but at the same time, we spending more than a check before they get a check clear.
That's right.
And we know we can't go out there and buy these $200-300 sneakers, but meanwhile we want to be the flyest guy on the block.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile you got the flyest sneakers on the block and you're broke.
Yep.
Can't do that. Financial freedom to me is being able to manage what you actually bring in.
Yep. Better terminology.
With still putting something to the side to save.
Yeah, the best terminology is above your means. So we don't supposed to live above our means. We're supposed to live knowing that we have left over, that we can save, that we can invest.
Yep. Invest. And the funny part about when you say invest, you actually invested in yourself. And people don't understand that. That's why it tells you at one point, I forgot what book I read about it. It tells you should be able to save that 10% for yourself.
Pay yourself
that
first.
Yep. Actually save up in savings for yourself.
It's in a couple of books, but the one that I remember off the hand is The Richest Man in Babylon.
I think that's it. I think that's the book I read. I think that's the book I read that I learned that's supposed to be that way. 10% for yourself is your pay.
Okay, Frankie, what's on your mind about this?
I definitely agree with a lot of things that were said. Definitely, a lot of it is dealing with perception, and a lot of times is basically it goes back to what we were saying earlier. It's basically sticking to what you desire and what you want, and also a lot of people get into debt or uncontrollable finances is because they're looking on the outside. And they're not even, a matter of fact, a lot of people, they can have a lot of money and they still not happy who they are or what they have because they chase things. I think one of them, that's why TV and the internet, I think, is so dangerous because a lot of times people are trying to live something that they really don't desire. Most people don't know themselves. I believe most people don't know themselves. And like when it comes to finances is you want that BMW because you like the status it brings. You never even drove the car. You never even touched the car, but you seen it on a video. You want a chain because you seen somebody else have it. You don't even know if you like it on your neck. You don't even know if it's too heavy for you. Or a pair of sneakers. I teach my kids, don't get a pair of sneakers because it says Michael Jordan. Get a pair of sneakers because you went in there, you tried that sneaker on, you put it on, you say, oh, it feels good. And if that sneaker is $200 and you can afford it, buy the sneaker. But don't you ever buy something because you looked at something and people mold their whole life getting things that they don't even want and wonder why they're not happy. Because they could have been happy with making $400 a week if they would have took that $400 and been true to themselves and applied it to their life. Some people happy living in an apartment. Some people happy living in a group home. I remember a homeless guy came into the shop one day and he said, I am the happiest guy here. Why? Because he didn't have no bills. Maybe he didn't mind picking up bottles on the street. Maybe he enjoyed his freedom more than going to work with somebody.
But I think we fall into this trap because we all been domesticated to follow these things. We've been programmed, like you said, you watch this TV, and now all of a sudden we got to go have that BMW or the latest sneakers because your brain is programmed by seeing it so much, and you're told this is what a rich man looks like, or this is what a financial man look like because he's wearing the latest sneakers, or he's driving the BMW, or he has these nice cars and all these houses and stuff like that. But that's really not financial freedom.
And I think another thing is this, especially when it comes to finances, right? That's why a man, if the woman's not mature, a man got to be in the house because the world can mold what a woman needs and what she desires. You understand? What she desires, I see it every time. You see it on TV all the time. If the world says you need this, the woman will go run out there and buy it. If they buy themselves, if they don't have someone there, yes, they will.
I don't think that's true because I think we all, again, I gotta. Even if they go out there and buy it on themselves, we're not in their shoes. We don't remember. We all have to look in the mirror at ourselves. We gotta, as men, we gotta look in the mirror, and as a woman, they gotta look in that mirror. They got to see that same God that created them, that created us. They have their own picture of what they like supposed to be like. I can't sit there and tell you that I agree with that because I'm not going to sit there and demand certain things anymore. I'm not going to lie. I used to think real bad, but maybe a couple of months back, my way of thinking was totally different. There's a lot of things I wouldn't even allow to like, oh, I've been domesticated by so many ways. But now I gotta look at that same God that's looking at me. She gotta look at that same God that's looking at her. If I'm created perfect, that means she's also created perfect.
Okay, so let me see something about this financial thing.
You can't tell her that, oh, because you believe that you gotta go get this, that is wrong or right. You don't know what's going on in her mind.
Yeah, but let me say something about this, and so we can move on now because I don't want to talk about it too long. Okay, my opinion about this is being frugal and being humble like the Buddha. Everyone should be independent when they do their specific thing. And one thing that's very important is to think of others rather than thinking of yourself. I care nothing for finances. Finances only get in the way when you see something and you do not think of someone else. When you do not think of others, you cause yourself to have a curse upon you. You should try to live through nature rather than through materialism. Okay, I've learned this by evolution over my years. I've lived in the streets for over 2 or 3 years, and what I learned, okay, is that by having substance, like too many materials, you tend to forget about others, and when you forget about others, it's like you're wasting your life away. You're using your money in a selfish way. Think about it like this: if you go to another country, guess how wealthy you are in that country. Okay, you're more wealthy in another country than even the poorest person in America is actually richer than the person in another country. Think about it like that. And that's all I really have to say about that. Okay? So let's continue on, yeah, guys. Okay, what do you think about what I said?
It's something to think about. Definitely
something to think about. And it's basically all our opinions. You know, basically that's what makes the world great. We all have opinions and things. You know, that makes the world great. That's make the world go round.
Okay, so here, let's continue on. My topics are trusting auto mechanics, which are cars, butterfly stalkers, and ladybugs, how to travel to foreign lands. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is trusting auto fucking mechanics, okay? Because I had this conversation with
somebody else had an issue.
You say what? What you say, Thomas?
Get it.
Huh? What you say, Thomas?
I said somebody else had an issue with an auto mechanic.
Yeah, I'm like, you have to go to someone you trust, because if you go to these professional mechanics, the one thing I wish they improve on is to have a camera underneath your car or in your car, every perspective of your car, because they can unscrew something. I take care of my car top notch, top of the line, man, top of the line. And I know goddamn certain that if something comes loose, it's not because I hit a bump in the road.
Maybe you could design it.
And so they should start improving, because there's a lot of scams, professional scams. You take your car, and I worry about my car because I know I don't hear any sounds. Dude, my car does not make a noise. But when it comes out of that shop and a few days later, something tink, 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 your car been running for like a whole fucking year. And then you just took it to the mechanic and you don't know what they did to your car. And what do you think about that, Thomas? What do you think?
I think first of all, you hit the nail on the head when you said you must trust your mechanic. Because if you're just taking your car to anybody, guess what? You must get to school. That shaft about to go in you. If you understand what I'm saying.
Listen, I'm saying this because, I just took my car for, an inspection, okay? I paid $89, and they told me they wanted $700 to get my brakes flushed, okay? And get some new brakes. Yeah, my brakes need to be flushed. Your liquid. Listen. You can look on the internet of how to flush your brakes. Okay, you have to.
Wait. Are you talking about? Make sure you clarify this. Are you talking about brake fluid?
Yes.
But you don't flush the brake fluid system.
No. The terminology what they use is that you need your brakes flushed. Okay, what do you call it? What's the word?
Wait, hold on. For anyone talking, anyone's watching, Thomas is a mechanic.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the paper.
Yo,
Here. Let me get the paper right here. I'm going to tell you what they said. I'm going to show you what they
So
said.
everyone that don't think, everyone's watching, let you know, Thomas is a
here.
mechanic. He worked in the body shop for years.
Yeah,
So,
I
you know what he's talking about.
Okay, all right. So I'm telling you, your brakes will need to be flushed. Okay, hold on. Where's that paper at? Oh, it's in my car. I don't feel like going for it. It's in my goddamn
But
car.
nigga, I'm gonna put it to you this way. I done had plenty of cars. I had new cars, old cars, raggedy cars, and guess what? I never flushed a brake system. Only thing that happened with a brake system, if a brake line break, if you break a brake line, your fluid falls out, and you got to put fresh fluid in because you got to replace the brake line that broke.
Maybe you mean bleed. You mean bleed the brakes?
I don't remember, but it's on the paper. But then guess what? I found out, and by doing my research through the internet, through the YouTube, that I checked my brakes, and I got my brakes are like brand new.
What about transmission? Is it flush the transmission fluid?
No, they ain't talking about transmission. It's just the brakes.
If
they say they do this scam, they say this is a 4-year scam. If you take your car, okay, to your auto professional dealer, they will tell you eventually your brakes may need to be flushed or you need some new brakes, the braking pads, okay? And what happens, if you do your research, you'll find out they do this to scam people, okay?
Yeah.
Because you got to be careful.
It's a scam because it's not true.
So you know what I did? I checked my brakes, and I'm like, my brakes are pretty brand new. Why did they say that to me? I checked my brake fluid, and it's clear as day. They wanted $700, okay?
You know what they're gonna do? You know what they would have did? They'd have put your car in the back of the garage for like 3 hours and then pulled it back out. So you say, "Yeah, we flushed it out. Look how clear it is." And they never did the same thing.
Yeah, because your ass you got lazy. People get lazy. They don't want to do all that stuff, especially women. They got no time to just do any checks. They're not going to do that check stuff. And I said, why are they telling me this when they lying right in front of me? Why do they do that? Okay.
So basically,
they feel like they can tell you anything.
So basically, what that is that we all need a better knowledge about basics about cars. Because brakes are pretty basic.
Yes, basic.
And you did the right thing by looking up on YouTube before you believe someone like that. Definitely, but you gotta be careful, mechanics that you take your car to, because there are a lot of mechanics that are very good. They'll do what you gotta do, take your car for a good thing. They're really good. But there's always also mechanics that, again, I work with employees. You never know what people are going through. So sometimes people need money. Sometimes people will take advantage of people that they feel they could take advantage of.
They want to try to get rich quick.
Yep. And you got to come in there with the knowledge first and let them know that you know what you're speaking of and let you know what you're talking about. Then they probably think twice about trying to pull a fast one on you.
What do you think about this, Frankie?
I think it's sad. I think it happens far too often.
Yes.
I think it happens far too often. It's like
I had a mechanic try to look at my one of my Jeeps because I'm the type of person I don't do it. I don't if it feel like it's something too hard. I don't be bothered with it because I don't have a lift in my house and the 100% everything I need to do stuff. So we went to just get the Jeep inspected, and the guy just tried to tell me like I had transmission fluid leaking out my rack of pinion, and there's oil and grease, like the fluid was going everywhere. And I'm like, the fluid's going everywhere. It would have been on my driveway. So I'm like, what are you talking? Think about it. I was like, whatever. I'm gonna be crazy enough to be like, oh yeah, just change it. I'm like, I want to see the fluid in the driveway. First of all, just be careful out there because people are scammers, and if they don't think you know, they will get you.
And it ain't cheap.
Yes, and please understand, when I found out about this computer systems that's are in the car, everyone should get something like an attachment on where the left side of the driver's at. It's called Fix It, and I have an app that goes along with it. And you can catch a lot of mechanics, and I got one of those, and it tells you the maintenance that needs to be done on your car. It's called Fixed, and it connects to the computer system. And there's other ones too, but this is more popular because I see it everywhere. And so, I should get that just in case, because if the mechanics say there's something with your computer dashboard or something, stick that thing in there, turn on your app, and that's where it advised to that. Okay, I really recommend that.
Also, you could go to usually do engine checks for free. So you go to
Repeat that,
advanced
what makes
auto,
it
they
went
give
out?
you the code. The advanced auto, I believe it is, can give you the engine checks for free. So your engine light is on. Advanced auto will do it for free. They will hook your car up and give you the codes and look it up for you to see what's really wrong. So basically, take a look into that too, so y'all people won't get taken advantage of, because it is right. It happens too much. It does happen too often, and I hate to say this, it happens to women a lot. You know, because they come up there, don't think women know what they're talking about or what they're doing, unfortunately. But there's a lot of women that do know what they're doing, which I like when they catch them slipping.
Yeah, I think they should just improve on it by showing the camera. If you go into your professional auto mechanic, they should have cameras looking every perspective. I know that's expensive, but I don't trust them. Okay? I don't trust them. Okay?
Mandel.
Yeah.
We live, right?
Yeah, we still live. It's 45 minutes. We're 45 minutes live. There's no viewers.
Stop giving away $1 million ideas.
I know.
Yeah, that's a part of my innovative ideas. You know,
that's a great idea. That is an awesome idea. They should go in with cameras. That is an awesome idea right there.
Wait. Body cameras. That's all you need. Put a body camera on them.
Not even a body camera. Tell them they can use a camera. That's crazy. That's a crazy idea, yo. And y'all think about
somebody told me that if you go to a professional, be careful. They can unscrew something waiting for it. I said, what? Are you kidding me? They'll go under and unscrew it, and you can get into an accident, and you never know, okay?
But I said the dealer. I went to the dealer to get an oil, I think an oil change, a simple oil change. I went to the dealer. Yo, you know they're gonna take the light. I came out, they said, oh, you need your light bulb fixed in the back of your car. The light is out.
Yeah, they charge me like $15 to fix it, right?
You want me to change it? I said, how much cost to change it? 25. I said, nah, I look at it myself. I see what's going on. I go get my car. I pull off and I pull to the side. I go in the back. I screw the light bulb in and cuts right on.
Nigga, they halfway took it out.
They took it out. And this is the dealer. This is the Hyundai dealer. This is the dealer.
They took it out. They stole it?
No,
they unscrewed it. It stay off. And be like, yo, your light is out. Do you want us to fix it? Charge you money for it. Then what they do is put the same bulb back in and tell you to go ahead. They just got $25 out of you.
So what they did, they unscrewed it? What they did?
They unscrewed it.
Whoa. Okay. Oh my God.
That's why you got to be able to trust your mechanic. No matter, bottom line is you have to be able to trust your mechanic. If you're not 100% sure, or if you get a bad vibe, whoever take your car to, don't take it there. Because your feeling is going to lead you the right way.
Okay.
If you ain't telling you the truth, that's number one. That be with mechanics. Because like they said, they can tell you anything. And they will tell you anything just to get that money.
Okay, so shall we continue? Do we have anything else to say about this topic?
Nah, we good. That's perfect. We got good advice out there. People definitely should take it.
Okay. So Thomas, you said something about a book called The Four Agreements and being in agreement with yourself. Are we going to continue talking about that, or?
I don't even know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This is the book that I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that. Yeah, long as it's not no porn. Okay.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Can everybody see?
Oh, Jesus, this guy.
You know what somebody did. This is why I'm telling you.
Can we put a warning on the bottom of our screens?
No, you can't put a disclaimer. No, but you know what somebody did. Yeah. Do not share. If you have a StreamYard link, never share it with the public. Never share your link. So I'm just warning you now, and everybody else who's probably listening to me, never share your link with the public, because what's going to happen is that a person you don't know will pop up in your stream, and they'll cancel the whole entire video. Got it? You won't be able to show it because somebody showed the dildo. Okay? Because you didn't know that.
All right. Let's get back. Let's get back to focus. Hey, Mikey. Let's get back to focus.
Okay, so what we going to talk about now? Frankie, you talked about fathers. We talked about the simple, the foolish, and the wise. Did we talk about fathers? How much impact do males play in molding a woman's life? Are we going to continue with that?
No.
Wait, anytime, sir?
Yeah, that's what I was asking, because you only wrote down what I'm reading here. You have How to Find Oneself, a book called Four Agreements, and Being in Agreement with Yourself. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. That's
So
very
what
good.
are we talking about now? We talked about the first one already, and we touched bases on the book just a little bit just now. But the book is basically the 4 agreements with yourself. Is like I already called it out.
Okay, so Tyson, Maurice, you have another one. You said meaning of financial freedom. I think we talked about that too, right?
Yes, we already spoke about that.
And then what does it mean? How to truly love yourself? Okay.
All right. I had another topic also. What's the first topic I had?
The first topic you had was balanced family and work business.
All right, you want to speak about that?
Yeah, tell you I don't know too much about it, but
all right. So again, my topic is usually short and to the point. Frankie, you right there, bro?
I'm listening.
All right. My topic is usually straight and to the point, and I just basically kind of give what I've seen in my experience in balancing work and life agreements, and why it's at this point in time in our generation, in the 21st century, it's tough to balance your life and your work. So we're gonna go back a couple of centuries. So a couple of centuries ago, and a lot of people remember this. We're a little bit older, so we remember this also. That when people basically worked, they worked at the crack of dawn. They got up early in the morning. They went to work. When they usually come home, they usually eat dinner and they spend family time. On Saturday and Sundays, they're usually free. Saturday was usually family time or nights out. Sunday was usually religion, spiritual connection, church, or wherever that you may had you. But since dawn or since the birth of the internet, that actually became the problem. The internet basically connect all of us on a 24/7 hour base. That's why it's tough for our generations basically to balance that work life and that home life out. The reason why is that if you have a boss or you have a business, it's a click away. So basically a business or workload is basically your boss emailing you saying, hey, you didn't get this done correctly, or you didn't get that done correctly, and you go solve the problem. So an example is usually like this. Let's say you go to work, you check your emails, you do your task, you check your social media, you respond to a couple of emails, you go home. When you go home, you think about the work that you didn't complete. Because work is one click away, you work on your task between dinner and after dinner. There's no family time. Then also on the weekends, you go home on the weekends, you think about work that you didn't get done through the weekdays. Again, it's just a click away. So you're going to try to resolve those issues. Or if you have basically a proactive boss, they say, hey, you didn't get this done correctly. You didn't get that done correctly. And then again, you're right back at work. When you go to sleep at night, your mind is still on work.
Okay, so let's talk about the solution to it.
Hard.
Let's talk about the solution. How can we get the family together then?
That's my next step. Thank you. So how can we work on that? Is basically how you work on that is basically you got to say, okay, what do I got to do? What do I have to do during that work week? You look at yourself. How productive are you between your 9 to 5? What are you getting done between your 9 to 5? Then maybe on Fridays, you look at your work that you got done on Monday through Thursday. You make your corrections on Friday. This might bump heads with your boss, because then the next part of this is that you got to come to your boss and say, I do not want to be contacted on the weekends. We have to remember that business is going to last with you or without you. They've been there before you was there. They're going to be there after you're gone. So they can come into agreements that, hey, do not contact me. You might unfortunately have to look for another job that will not contact you because you already did your part when you were there, because now they just contact you for more work. And it's not fair to you, but it's not fair to you, and it's not justifiable. So you got to learn to say.
So Maurice, you've been talking for 3 minutes now. Thomas, go ahead.
But what the simple solution is, if it's all the technology that we connected and we bounded into, the easiest thing to do is, if you want to get away from work or whatever, hey, hit the power button.
Yep, cut everything off. But you got to remember though.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm on my own time. I never told you no. I never denied one.
But you got to remember, that's a slippery slope. Meaning, like, my business is my personal. This is my personal business. I'm becoming a district manager, right? I'm not going to deny my district manager now access to me because of my goals. The best thing I could do is make sure my job is complete 100% before my days off. Therefore, I can say professionally, no, I can be professional, but no, because anything that you tell me is you're just adding onto my workload. I completed my workload for the week, but you're 100% right. Cut everything off, no power, no connections, but you got to tell your boss or whoever your superior that in the beginning, hey, I don't want to be contacted on the weekends. This is my personal time, and they should be able to respect that if you are valuable to the company. That's another subject. We can't talk about that. It's too long to talk about.
Frankie, what do you think about this?
I just was watching something on this, and I think the main thing is time management is a major thing, and setting realistic goals for yourself. A lot of people, they work for people, and they really pervert their lifestyle. Like they'll do things like above and beyond. Like they'll stay late. And they'll neglect their family for them to get that jump ahead. And a lot of companies, they bank on that. They bank on you neglecting your family or neglecting anything outside their job, or basically being married to the job, where you're not living. Basically you might as well be like a eunuch. You might as well not have a family. You might as well just go back and forth to work, because all they doing, or they banking on, they don't, like Maurice said, they don't care. The next person is coming around the corner, but as you as an individual, you got to say, listen, this is you expect this of me. I'm not going to take a position that you're going to abuse me. And you see a lot of companies doing this, where they, I don't think it's the right term, they micromanage, where they fire one person and they have another person do two jobs, which is really it's not realistic. For an average person, not realistic. For a person who really want to have a family life, but a lot of people are married to their work, married to their companies, where they will neglect the rest of their life just to get ahead and just to gain something financially, which they're really not enjoying, because basically they're selling themselves to the job. Basically, you see people neglect their children, neglect their wives, neglect everybody. Don't get me wrong, we all need jobs, but Maurice, you said it clear. You like, listen, going to your boss saying, especially if you're in a supervisor, but you're in a leadership position, saying, listen, this is what I'm going to do. This is what can be done. This is what can be done, and this is what I'm going to do. And that would be you completing your 100% of your goal at a realistic time window, right? A realistic window. You finish that, and then you will have that window to enjoy your life, enjoy your family, enjoy your children. But you got to be realistic with yourself, and you cannot be trying to set a goal that's unrealistic for the average person, which will pervert the minds of an individual who's in control of that domain, basically.
Yeah, but what I have to say about this, the term is being what do you call it? What's the word? Enthusiastic. You know, you're ambitious. Okay, ambition is a dangerous thing. Ambition is linked to materialism, and it's also linked to a lot of problems through stress and through society. I disconnect from those things. It's too much stress for me. I can micromanage by playing a video game, and I can micromanage by watching my daughter. But when your boss tells you some shit and you know you can't handle that shit, then it's time to move the hell on, okay? Because life is too short. We only live less than 100 years old. Ambition is a dangerous thing when you're being materialistic. You need to supply for your family, so you need to take things away. When you suffer, you learn better. This is what the life is about. This life is about suffering. And so if you're being suffered to a point to where you can't handle it, trust me on this. Life is about excitement, exploration, and about many other things, not just suffering, okay? It's about learning. It's an experience. It's about multiple things. And so if you have your boss telling you that, because I have bosses, and I tell them like it is, okay, you don't need my services, I'm out of here. I'm doing professional business here, you know? You got to be a pimp to them because you are valuable. And I'm telling you right now, listen, my boy Chuck, he works for Denny's, right? I told him to say this to your boss. He ain't going to fire you. Okay, you know he's been at that job for 15 years, cooking, cleaning, and organizing and micromanaging. They always hire him back. He quit. He listened to what I said. He quit, and they hire him and doubled his goddamn his pay increase because he's valuable. And just like he said, Maurice, before, if you're valuable, they can't fuck with you. So
That's
just
right.
strive your best.
But you got to remember, hey, but
business.
you have to make yourself valuable.
Yes, there you go. But you gotta know your, you gotta,
and that crap when you talking about, oh, I'm going in there and I'm telling them I'm just leaving it, this, that, and third. Sometimes that's cool, but when that's after you become valuable.
Yes, after you become valuable.
I put a statement down, and I'm like, yo, listen, I know how important I am to this company. I know what I can do.
a good hint for that is that if you're in a company, obviously a company's making money about money, right? You gotta look at what type of money you bring to the company. Meaning that if when you came there, the company let's say the company made $1 million a year, right? When you came there, you made them $500,000 more a year. You can basically name your price sometimes because the company's gonna look at you. You're not just a regular person. Again, you're valuable. You have to know your wealth also, but you gotta know your details about that company. So you gotta dive into that company. You can't just go to work to go to work. A lot of people make that mistake. You cannot go to work just because you worked. I'm going to work just to get you're gonna fail each time. I promise you. I done did it for years. I went to work just to go to work, just to get a pay. No, you gotta work with a goal. So my goal is to become a district manager. That's my goal. So when I go to work, I work hard, not just for my paycheck, to reach my goal. So therefore, I value my company. So therefore, my company's gonna value me.
Listen.
Hold on, let me do my statement. Wait, let me do my statement.
You're getting long-winded, Maurice. It's over a minute. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I did was I increased their financial, so therefore they should be able to do the same for me. You get what I'm saying? And they don't do the same for me by my timeline. I have a deadline, my timeline, on my rules, on what I put in place. I will move on because I know I could get paid the same amount of money, if not more, with another company.
Okay, so listen to this. If once you know your value, like you just said, you made 500,000, and that happened to me on my job. I said, hey, I got a car and I can go almost anywhere, and I act professional and I do things. They already know that I can type like 20, 30 words a minute. They know I'm good on that other stuff. So I've messed up many times, but you know what they did? My company, they always kept me a job, even when I was in the wrong. Okay? They always kept me a job. And so let's get on with the next subject. Okay, who did we not talk about? Oh yeah, I didn't talk about my butterfly stalkers and ladybugs and how to travel to foreign lands, but I'm gonna keep it real simple. Have you guys been followed by ladybugs or butterflies lately?
No.
And the butterfly represents a change, metamorphosis, but I've seen a lot of butterflies, black butterflies, blue butterflies, red butterflies. Have you seen this around you, any of you?
Are you hanging out in the park?
I just go anywhere and I see butterflies. I don't know what it means, but just wondering if you have encountered that. It's been
the butterfly effect.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I'm thinking about the butterfly effect too. But have you seen any ladybugs? Because ladybugs to me means that there's always a new woman involved. And I get bit by one, and you know what ladybugs can do, right? They kill large insects. They're lethal, and that's strange. Have you seen any ladybugs lately?
No.
Okay, that's strange. Okay, I see this the other day. I saw a ladybug fly right into my forehead. Okay, and I was going to smack it, but something told me not to, and it could have been a wasp. So then I put my finger, and then it came onto my finger. It's kind of weird, but that's all I wanted to say about that. Okay, the thing I want to say is that traveling to another country is a complex thing. A lot of people ask me, you have to do Google Earth. You have to do with Google Maps.
Something happened to your volume.
Hello?
Something happened to your volume.
Hold on, wait a minute. Okay.
Give me a second. I'm gonna refresh the screen.
Hello? Can you hear me?
It's still low.
Can you hear me?
No, it's still low.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I guess that make me the host now. Hey,
what up, big bro?
Hello.
No.
Oh, yes.
Serious.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're good.
Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes.
Frankie?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Can you hear me? Can you speak? I didn't hear your voice.
Yes, we hear you.
We can hear you.
I can't hear you. For some reason, I can't hear you guys. I'm going to refresh my screen again. Hold on. Yeah, because somebody's texting me right now. That's probably what it is. Okay.
And you tell us not to
Hold
put our
on.
phone on do not disturb.
This guy. You know what? Somebody need to fire
Then
this
we give
guy.
out all these rules, and then they want
Let's give my shout. Let's give my shout out. Change one life motivation.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, now. And so, okay, you got something to say. I'm gonna say this last thing, okay, because we've been over an hour now. Okay. So to travel to another country, these are like 5 things you're gonna need. You're gonna need an international phone. You're gonna need to do research on Google Earth. You're gonna need to learn how to walk. You're gonna need a backpack and travel lightly. Okay. And without the research, you know, you shouldn't go any country at all. And make sure you understand what your purpose is. That's what I had to do. It took me a long time. You don't want to be lost somewhere and you don't have any maps. You got to make sure your maps don't get wet. You got to have a backup for all your important papers. You have to have an international phone. Okay. This is very important. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say about how to travel to another country. Is there anything? Huh?
Well, just a disclaimer. Mandel have traveled to other countries. This is why he's telling you this. It's basically his own experience. So definitely you should take a listen because he have traveled a lot.
Oh, yeah. I've traveled to Ethiopia and to Cairo and Egypt. I lived in Ethiopia for 2 years. I got videos, as you should already know. Marcus Knowledge is linked to a whole bunch of other videos. Other than that, I found my virgin wife in Ethiopia, lived out there for almost 2 years, lost my passport, got it back on purpose. Okay. Because I did not
hope so.
America.
And he wasn't at a 5-star hotel.
Yeah. A lot of those hotels are pretty cheap out there.
No, I'm saying you live out there. I'm trying to say you wasn't at a 5-star all-inclusive hotel. You lived there.
Yes. Partially in and out. Eventually I found my own house for $167 with free internet. And if you do your research and you find the right person to translate, because you can't go there without a translator. You can't do that. You got to have a translator. You got to have backups. You can't be going. If you think malaria is going to bite you, you better have all of the DW40 that you need for all that oil on your head and your sprays and everything. You better have all that stuff, okay? Because you're going to need the backup, okay?
But you got to explain more because they think you just travel to Ethiopia, regular Ethiopia. You travel deep into Ethiopia.
Yes, I lived in the underdeveloped section in Adama, Nazareth. Addis Ababa is the capital of Ethiopia, and so you don't want no women there. You want to go out from the city capital. They're out from the city, and they're underdeveloped countries, and there are shitholes in the.
And also,
and so I just want you to understand that the further you go away from the capital, the worse it gets. The longer the trip, too. 2 to 3 hour ride.
So people got to understand that Ethiopia is a little bit like America. They have buildings, they have cities, but when you go further out, it goes to basically to desert land and things of that nature. So this is the places that he traveled, and this is why he's telling you that you need these things to basically be safe and to be secure.
Yes, and also another thing too. One of the 5 things is making sure you update your debit card to make sure you can have authorization to use their bank accounts. So you're using your card internationally. Because if you use your debit card and you don't have permission, they will block your card. Don't do it. You won't be able to use your card, and you need money if you want to buy things, right? So you got to make sure you think all from your finances, from your calls, from your computer, and they got a lot of internet cafes out there. The food is not good at all. So if you're accustomed to American food,
come on.
Yeah, a lot of food got a lot of flavor in Ethiopia. Okay, just want you to know that a lot of flavor. But if you want your meat to be tender, look elsewhere. Okay.
Where that disclaimer at?
So what do you want to know about Ethiopia? We can talk about that. What do you want to know about Ethiopia?
We should do that disclaimer up there.
There's no disclaimer. I'm just telling you what my experiences are. I don't give a fuck about nobody else's feelings. This is my experience. Okay. I'm telling you, it's a great country. It's a great country to go to if you like to stay warm throughout the whole year. There's only one rainy season, and that's great.
No
There's
snow?
no mosquitoes. I lived all over the place. Mojo, Hawassa, Addis Ababa, which is the capital, Adama, Cujo, which is beautiful, Franco. I've lived out there. I moved all around. Okay. It's nice out there. They even have basketball courts out there, and some guys was pretty good. I was like shocked. Yes, there's a basketball courts out there.
Hmm.
They
Final
play
words,
soccer.
anyone?
Yeah, they play soccer out there mostly.
We going around for final words? We've been on for an hour and 10 minutes.
All right, y'all guys. So anything else we like to talk about or go over, Frankie?
No, I think we're good. I think we should just wrap it up here and then let them know next week we'll be on at 9 o'clock. PTYO. PTYO in the house. Person shows your mark is in the house.
Teenage
Nick.
Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Amazon Music.
That's ready.
For real.
I know that gotta be the DJ.
I know, leave it up to him.
What the hell is that? Okay.
That's who's that? Ice Vanilla Ice?
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I think Vanilla Ice did a rap for that song.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, don't play that music too much. There's a copyright.
Yeah, copyright. We do not own the right to these songs.
You can't play it. You can't play it. They'll cut it. Copyright. It's a copyright strike. You playing that music? No, we cutting it. Okay, I'm not getting paid for this. Maurice, you understand? You can't play it on. It doesn't matter. You can't even say it. They're real strict. YouTube is strict upon copyright infringement. Your video will not get paid. I'm not interested in getting paid on my videos, but understand this. I don't play other people's music because they can do all sorts of manipulation.
They're gonna come back at you.
Yeah.
So when you get a check, make sure you send it to me. Okay, so when you start getting paid.
Yeah, that's why I say y'all should send me your Cash App links so I can post it. So this is PTYM Nations right here, Cash App. Mine's is in the description box. Yep, there you go. And Thomas, he does inspirational training, right?
No, motivational speaking.
Motivational speaking, okay?
Yep.
Okay. And so you know how my videos are. They're all over the place because I'm schizo, okay? Frankie, what do you do? What are you doing in your spare time? How are you making money? Are you making money with your kids?
No.
Go ahead.
I go to work.
Okay. You got any plans for your kids to be on the internet and making money for you?
No.
Okay. What about you, Maurice?
My kids don't do nothing. I also motivational speak. Change one life motivation. That's basically what it is. And it's all about changing your life to help other people change their life. So you got to change yourself first. Definitely got to change yourself first to basically get that change started. Then people will see for you are. Then you can help other people out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my daughter is already on the Twitch already. I have to be there. They cut my daughter's account off. It's a father and daughter. They told me to make sure you be in the video, okay? Because I'm doing something different. Nobody does what I do. I do different things. My daughter is getting a lot of attention right now. And so I'm on
income.
Yeah, and of course, all right, is there in the description box? So if you look in the description box and you read it, you'll see her Twitch. You'll see both of us. And I'm glad y'all showed up for this stream, you guys. Same bat time, same bat fucking channel. Okay, on Sundays at 9 p.m. Be there or be fucking square. Okay, and good conversation, guys. Let's do this again. We'll do this again. Just make sure we have 3 different topics. Okay. And we shall do that another day. So y'all have a good day and good night. And I'm going to end the video now. Peace.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. Change one life.
All right.
That's the mark, baby.